Phil Duncan from weatherwatch.co.nz. Kia ora. Did you get the alarm this morning?
I got the alarm, and because of my position and my job, I also get a civil defense. I get the text message, like a normal text message. I
Yeah.
get the alert as well, and then I get a phone call and an email,
What?
and all of it makes my phone go crazy. And if you ignore it, you just do the whole like, yeah, no, ignore, and
Yeah.
then it pops back 2 minutes later to remind you. So I definitely got woken up this morning
Oh, my
by that.
goodness.
It was a little bit over the top. One level I was raised to, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
But I'm in a job where I kind of have to say the truth. And in my opinion, there were some very good positive things that happened yesterday. Civil defense were very quick, which is a very good thing to see,
Yes.
and that sort of thing. Number two, the US government, NOAA, was producing tsunami information that also included it in meters. Normally they say inches and feet, and the rest of the
What?
world goes, I don't know what you're talking about, unless you're over a certain age, and then you go back to your childhood.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all the Pacific Islands, New Zealand and all around the North Pacific had the same criteria. So
Yeah.
all on the same page. The problem was that I think in New Zealand it was like almost like they were sort of like, this is the most exciting thing we've had in a long time. Let's test everything. And
Oh,
there's something to be said about that. It's called muscle memory.
yes.
So you're used to cyclones, you're used to thunderstorms and snow in this country and earthquakes. We all have a gut instinct for what they are. Tsunami's very different, and there are a lot of people who are now in their teenage years who have never even heard of one really, and this is a first. So there is a side to that where I understand the big publicity around it, but yeah, it's certainly there is room for improvement.
But if you have too many of those, you just go, oh gosh, this again, who cares? And a story from my community, actually, there was a woman who, in terms of her cultural background, she was from Sri Lanka. And of course, it was 24 years ago when they didn't really get a warning at all when the Boxing Day tsunami hit Sri Lanka. So she got a message on her phone. She doesn't speak English as a first language. She was absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
Phil, for no good reason.
What they need to do, what they need to figure out here, and the problem is the government is just like in a bubble. They're like any other massive corporation, whether they're a bank or a television company or whatever. The government is its own bubble. They don't like to ask for help, just like a corporate wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, they had this kind of in thinking. They don't sort of push things. They don't ask the private sector for maybe we could communicate this better, because most of it is around just the communication. They've got
Yeah.
all the skills, but the wording's not right. And I think that's the one area they've had a problem with for a long, long time. And you're right. The biggest issue we have in New Zealand with tsunami is that everything sounds like the big wave that was the Boxing Day tsunami
Yeah.
or the Japan tsunami. Whereas if you're on the other side of the Pacific and it's happening, in the way it happened this time, probably not going to see a damaging wave here. But so we need to make a sort of a very obvious two different categories.
Yes.
The land one, that's the scary one,
Yep.
and the marine one, which is no different than when we've got a storm offshore and you're just saying, hey, watch out for a big swell, a dangerous wave. That sort of
Exactly. The
thing.
only thing dangerous is if I lived on a houseboat and my anchor chain was slightly too tight.
Yeah,
Then
that's
send
right.
me a text at 6:30 in the morning. Otherwise, take me off your list, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the case, though, for, I know, for you in the work that you do. And, I mean, hey, let's take, for example, the Tasman region. 4 heavy rain warnings in 4 weeks, and it's been tough for that part of the world. But we need to make sure that the people affected by these weather events are getting accurate information. Yes, we're not underpitching it, but we're not crying wolf.
It's funny that literally a week ago, I had a very lovely lunch with Met Service.
Yep.
I like sharing that because people think that we all sort of have this animosity, and we really don't. Like Met Service and Weather Watch get on very, very well these days, and we stick to our corners, but we get on very, very well.
Yep.
So we had this lunch with them, and it was a really nice lunch. Had it in downtown Auckland, and we were talking about these storms, and the guy from Met Service said that their biggest concern at the moment is that very thing you just said, is people being burnt out by hearing another major event. And it's made worse by mainstream news outlets that for a living, cover this stuff. And in the last 10 years, no doubt in my mind that just about every media company in New Zealand has turned into a tabloid, and when it comes to the news. And so everything's breaking news, dramatic, developing, huge. And so we do get a bit saturated, excuse the pun, of getting lots of rain warnings and thunderstorm warnings. And so that's why I think the private sector is really important, because it's our job to be a little bit critical. I think it's painful when we're always critical, but a little bit critical. And we should be the ones in the room that hold power to account. And that's basically saying, did we need that text alert from Civil Defence overnight to say nothing's changed and nothing to really see here? Probably not. Was the overall warning system better than last time? 100%. So like, room for improvement, did a good job, but like, we've got room to improve 100%.
I don't want to be part of the media problem in this one, and Phil, to be fair, I try and avoid the phrase atmospheric river because it sounds wetter than it actually is. But it is a phrase that I've heard from media outlets during the last week, and I'm thinking I'm not sure that's helping. Can we switch gears on this one in the time that we've got left? Let's see if there's anything positive on the horizon. We've got August just ahead of us, a weekend where hopefully it's going to be less rain than we've had during the week. What's on the horizon, Phil?
Look, you made me feel guilty now, so I've got to end on a positive.
Look, if it's raining, tell us the truth. Don't sugarcoat it.
It's a very good segue. We're going into a beautiful burst of weather.
Okay.
So big, beautiful high. Sounds very Donald Trump when you say it like that, but it is. It's a big, beautiful high. The best. We've got that coming in this weekend. So frosty weather coming back.
Okay.
Beautiful traditional winter weather. We could be seeing frost as far north as the Coromandel Peninsula, Auckland and Northland, which means if you're a southerner, it's going to be a cold one. We've got some decent frost coming in this weekend. And the high that's coming in on Monday, the air pressure, 1041 hectopascals. That's nerd talk for very powerful. And the record in New Zealand is 1046, 1046. So we're at 1041. If you were doing press-ups and 1046 was your record and you're going to do 1041, that's pretty close.
That is.
So that's what we're seeing next week, which means that the high is going to be pushing away with its elbows any rainmaker, any storm. So we've got a very good start to August in the sense of colder, calmer, sunnier, frostier, drier.
That is the ending that we needed. Thank you so much. And they all lived happily ever after. And even psychologically, Philip, that we are about to enter what is chronologically, from a calendar point of view, the last month of winter. So already psychologically starting to cast ahead to sunnier days and not before time. Hey, really appreciate the work that you do in this space as well, and putting things in balance and putting things in perspective. Of course, people can connect to the latest weather information, weatherwatch.co.nz. Thoroughly recommend the app in this space as well. But hey, thank you that you are doing what you do in this space and providing accurate and useful information. Thanks for being on the program today.
Thank you, and thank you for your kindness and your supportive words. They go a long way.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.